300 pounds heavier than her prettier twin. Her unfair life made her a new woman over the year. We all lack determination at times. We prefer to live our easygoing lives over gyms, hard work, and diets. Who wouldn't like to go for nachos and Netflix on their favorite couch? Well, no matter how lightly we take our lives, there are some people we care about. God forbid, what if something happens to them and their only wish stays incomplete? Will you not try to do whatever it takes to fulfill their last wish? Of course you will. Sometimes we just can't help but regret that we would have listened to the person before we lost them forever. A dysfunctional family, a son whose wish remained unfulfilled, a chain of events that turned everything upside down. This story is of twin sisters who grew up together and turned out to become two opposite-looking ladies, but one tragedy changed everything for the two of them. Twin sisters Mary and Ruth have always been different. While Ruth was said to be the pretty one, Mary was always known as the fat one. Well, this distinct characteristics among the girls affected their whole lives. Both of them had a tough time with food. While one couldn't leave it, other couldn't have it. Mary had a depressing life as she grew old. Her trouble grew with her age. A mother not believing in her baby is one of the worst things that can ruin one's childhood, and Mary became a victim of such strange memories that she could never forget throughout her life. Mary felt ashamed about the way she looked, and being the bigger one of the twins, the heartbreaking truth to be told is Mary's memory of her mother, who said to her that Ruth was prettier than her, as she wasn't fat like Mary. Ruth grew up with several conflicts always going on in her mind. She could never understand whether she should be taking her sister's side or stay with her friends who were always eager to mess with Mary. With time, the differences grew in their weight, and soon it was almost impossible to guess that they were twins. Ruth had a clearly hard time dealing with food and diet. She was suffering from anorexia and bulimia, two opposites under one roof, in a home where nobody tried to identify what was the matter with them. They had no clue what was happening to them or how they could change it. After all, they were just kids back then. The world was harsh on Mary. Somewhere or the other, this even damaged the twins' bond. Ruth, no matter how hard she tried, couldn't make it up to her sister. Nobody knew that it'll take something terrible to change these sisters' fate forever. Their story was so unbelievable that they even turned up on a famous TV show to share their bitter experiences. By the time the sisters turned 34, Mary weighed 420 pounds, and Ruth weighed 120 pounds. Their weights never allowed them to live a normal life. Mary had problems, and Ruth had problems too. Watching Mary eat a lot more than required, Ruth lost her appetite. Seeing her sister walking on the path to obesity, Ruth was never able to enjoy eating. Yes, they were drifted apart from each other, but in their hearts they wanted to be together. In an effort to forget the past, in 2005, the twins tried to keep all their sad memories aside and came together on the Oprah Winfrey Show. They were trying to get to the real issue that caused differences. For the show, a short film was to be shot, and the camera recorded Mary and Ruth's routine work. This was embarrassing for Mary. Mary realized the toxic relation that she had with food when she watched the playback of this video. This film made her understand how wrong she had been doing to herself. She could relate to her problems of being unable to stop overeating. This was quite humiliating for Mary, but she wasn't going to change anyway. One of the most awkward things happened for Mary when she broke the salon chair while trying to fit into it. This happened in front of the complete show's filming cast and her sister. Mary couldn't believe that she just brought herself into so much insult. She felt like running away, but what she did next was something too much for anyone to handle. Even though all the awkward moments caught on the camera and later on telecasted TV, Mary took pride in her bad habits. On the show, Mary agreed that she felt ashamed of having a skinny twin sister when she herself weighed 420 pounds. However, she was not ready to change any of her habits. She chose this lifestyle for herself, and she was happy about it. Mary's family and friends all wanted her to look after her health. Even on the show, her son asked her to get rid of this evil cycle. Chris, Mary's son, wanted his mother to live a long and healthy life, which seemed impossible with this weight. Mary didn't give much attention to Chris's words then, but now she regrets not taking him seriously on that day. Chris shared his concerns very honestly. He told how he was scared that he might lose his mom to obesity anytime. Also, she has never been able to be a part of his life. She usually stayed on the bed, and Chris couldn't remember the last time he had a quality time with his mother. He wanted her to cook for him or play with him, but nothing much ever happened in this mother and son relationship. Chris's plea for his mom was watched all across the country. People were touched by this young teen's innocent request. On the show, Chris shared the struggles he's been facing because of his mother's overweight. The boy lost control of his emotions and cried in front of the audience watching him on their TV screens, his only wish to see his mother fit and healthy. So far, Chris just told how he wished his mother to live a better life. Chris was yet to reveal the most disturbing part, which brought tears to everyone's eyes who were present to watch the live show. He told the host, Oprah Winfrey, that he himself was scared of eating. He feared becoming like his mother. It was the same type of fear that Ruth, his aunt, felt during their childhood. Seeing her boy beg to her melted Mary's heart. She made Chris a promise that she would bring a change in her lifestyle from that day onwards. Emotions took over Mary when she said that she would like to live a healthy life for the sake of her child. Chris, the innocent boy, believed his mother's words, but little did he know that he would never see a bit of change in her. Did this show succeed in its mission to bring the twins together? Well, not really, as both of them were still on the same tracks that led to different directions. The sisters were now almost sure that they'll never get along happily, but as life is all about the unexpected, that's what was going to happen. After the show, Mary continued to live in her old style and forgot about her promise that she made to her son completely. Even today, she admits that not doing it for her son when he was there was the biggest mistake of her life. Chris, who believed in her promise, said nothing and waited for his mother to think of it. But will it happen? We never know how much time we've left with our loved ones, and hence, it is said to make the fullest of the moment that we've got with them, i.e. now. Mary never got a chance to prove to her son that she'll do anything for him. Soon after the show completed its filming, Chris, who was just 19 years old, bid goodbye to this world and left Mary alone forever. Chris had some severe head injuries from a car accident. The 19-year-old struggled for his life in the hospital, and his mother prayed for his betterment. Sadly, the boy couldn't survive the accident and lost his fight to death, leaving Mary all alone in the world. The moment of distress took her over completely. It was when Mary was going through the worst phase of her life that Ruth kept all the grudges aside and stood by her twin sister. Unfortunately, Ruth's presence made nothing better. She was helplessly watching Mary drowning in the ocean of grief. Sometimes life plays its game wickedly and directly hits us in the weakest spot. Little did the twins know this moment of loss will make them think in new directions. The thought of her son not resting in peace scared Mary every night. Suddenly, one night, Mary woke up at midnight and she knew what she should do for her son. Knowing that her sister had been by her side during this time of grief, she called Ruth at the same hour. Mary wanted Ruth to be the first one to know about her decision. This was the moment of self-realization for Mary. She could strongly feel that her son died, hoping for his mother to start thinking about her health. She couldn't believe that she was unable to fulfill her kid's only wish. What Mary was about to do brought everyone into disbelief. Well, you never know what comes next on your path. Storing all the memories of Chris in her heart and her sister, Ruth's motivation, she headed to the gym. She was doing it for her son. Every day her strength was increasing and she never looked back. What happened when the Oprah Show team knocked on her door a year later took the world by surprise. So a year later, the world was amused to see a new woman when Oprah Winfrey's show team visited Mary a year and a half after she appeared on the TV. They couldn't make out that it was her, the lady they had met a year back weighing 420 pounds. This was a different person. Her hard work was clearly visible. Within a year, she managed to reduce 124 pounds. She was still working on slowly shedding the extra weight on her, After all, this was her way to give respect to her son. What was more amazing? The beautiful features of Mary that stay hidden forever were now clearly visible. Her cheekbones that stayed underneath the facial fat were now shining brightly. All of a sudden, her smile became so much more confident and attractive. The best part was that her body was not all that had changed in the last year. Mary began to understand the importance of blood relationships. What the show wasn't able to do for the sisters was now happening. Mary started caring for her twin sister Ruth, who in return paid it back. They both now knew the value of each moment. Mary and Ruth both turned out to become strong individuals. They even have an all-new set of plans. Mary now thinks of her kid, Chris's wishes. The guy wanted his mother to accompany him in his outdoor activities. He loved to go hiking, racing go-karts, and many other things. He was an outgoing kid but stayed home with his mom most of the time. Mary's heart still aches knowing the fact that she was never able to give some of the most significant moments to her kid. According to her, he deserved it all. Mary now plans on doing all the things her son wanted to do with her. She is up for all the challenges now. She is ready to start a new life, and where she wants to get the memories she never got before, live the life she never lived before, and there's someone she would love to invite to accompany her to this adventurous life. Mary is not alone on the new path. This time her sister Ruth is with her. They spend days together and have fun. They are giving them the chance that they never got during their childhood. They were ready to work it out and give their relationship one more chance. Mary still gets haunted by the memories of her past, the way she was stubborn about it and never wanted to change herself at any cost. When she wakes up now to her new self every morning, she feels that she has finally done the best. She remembers Chris every day, and instead of shedding tears for him, she does more and more exercise. Her daily workouts help her in maintaining a balance with the emotional pain. She has found a few ways that help her in moving on. Mary keeps herself busy nowadays. She rarely gives herself time to think about the past. She has started living in the present. Her relationship with her twin sister is the biggest example of her improvement in the way of thinking. Ruth also started living a healthier life. She maintains a proper diet. She has managed to overcome her eating disorders after all. She feels that Mary made it all happen, which benefited both the sisters.